Time and time again, I rewind to return back to my previous comments that have been suggested by you guys. Although my overall purpose is to make videos in order to build stronger community and help someone else out there in search of that next survival game, creating content that is specifically intended to target different player groups, I can't seem to just simply move on onto my next project that is on my to-do list. So what do I do instead? Well, I return back to the words of encouragement and the words of recommendations. Every time you leave a suggestion on my video, I value those comments very dearly. You better believe that I read them. Clearly, the majority of viewers have already decided what the next video is going to be. So instead of bluntly not acknowledging it and leaving everything behind, I decided to deliver the type of content you like to see. Ladies and gents, this is your boy Roos, and welcome to Vintage Story. So, what is Vintage Story? Despite its similar looks with Minecraft, Vintage Story is its own little hidden gem. The game does not require Minecraft to run. It is in fact a standalone version right out of the box. Development of it began in 2016, and over the course of its existence, the love and support for this game grew exponentially. Due to Minecraft having a very strong and outgoing mod community, this game may appear as if Minecraft was running on texture and shader packs. And to be fair, Vintage Story was initially aimed to be a Minecraft mod. However, as days passed by, the game became its own little project. And this is where Vintage Story and Minecraft drew their lines and similarities and took their own paths. Unlike Minecraft, Vintage Story is extremely immersive, especially when it comes to survival mechanics. As you spawn in Vintage Story, your natural response is to collect wood and craft yourself your very first workbench. Then it doesn't take long for you to acknowledge that something is missing, and it's not simply plug and play now, is it? You can't craft a workbench, therefore you raise a concern about collecting the right materials to craft the most basic tools for your survival. How am I supposed to craft an axe if there is no option to craft a workbench? Then as you explore and try to observe your environment, you notice that the atmosphere in Vintage Story looks a bit different. Different compared to Minecraft, that is. Well, this is not Minecraft after all. There are stones and wood sticks lying around, so you begin to collect them. As your journey continues, you notice there is clay and other stones scattered around your environment. After 10 to 15 minutes trying to figure out what is going on and cursing the game out, you accidentally equipped clay and it gives you an option to sculpt an object. Well, this is kinda new, isn't it? And suddenly, a light bulb flashes before your eyes. So you begin to curse the game even more. Congratulations, you sculpted your first knife blade and you're ready for your challenge. No, not really. This is only the beginning of it. Remember earlier I said something about immersion? Well, I wasn't lying. Vintage Story puts you in the shoes of a caveman, per se. As if you just randomly appear on this beautiful planet and now you became a part of its life cycle. But you're not ready to give up and let the bears tear you apart, let alone starvation. So you respawn over and over and over again. And then one day something clicks. After countless deaths and multiple attempts of giving up, you learn the basic necessity of being alive. Not surviving at first initial stages of the game appears a lot easier, and you proceed with the more complex mechanics that the game has to offer. And that is only the outer layer of the game, if you will. Now, let's talk about enemies. What are they? They're called drifters. They randomly spawn close to portals. They kind of look like sloths. At first, they come off extremely annoying to deal with, but once you get the hang of crafting and experiencing the game for what it is, you'll get better at dealing with them. They will still come off as extremely annoying, but at least you can handle them at this point. Basically, besides them and the wildlife in the game, there really isn't another threat for you to worry about. The game's overall point is to make survival mechanics extremely immersive, and it's doing a really good job with details. For example, when it comes to growing crops, you will at some point have to rotate them due to soil complications. Perhaps one of the biggest differences between Vintage Story and Minecraft is the fact that Minecraft consists of biomes. Vintage Story, on the other hand, has 4 seasons, and this is actually one of my favorite things about the game. I love when games have seasons, because it creates that extra immersion that I'm talking about. As winter season comes, certain crops will not grow, animals become more scarce, and when you kill them, they will not drop as much meat as previously because they are also starving and they do lose weight quite a bit. Therefore, you must spend more time hunting and be more self-aware with self-sufficiency. The game is not available on Steam or any other platform besides their website. To my understanding, they simply refused and didn't want to deal with any publishers, so they decided to do everything themselves and take every little coin they earned from this game for themselves rather than sharing it with anyone else. The game consistently gets updates from mods, and any other feedback that is coming from the community is being shared with the rest of the development team, which means that your input can at some point shape and reshape the game to a certain extent. When it comes to mods, everything is available on their website. You owning the copy of the game automatically gives you the privilege to access them. And the cool thing about this process is the fact that whichever mod you decide to enable, it's all done in the game. No extra steps are required, simply turn them on, download them, and play. The game will certainly recognize them. This video is aimed to be informative and only covers the first impressions of the game. This is not official review, this is just the outer layer of the game. Perhaps as I put more time in and put more of my teeth into this title, I can return to this topic and update you guys even more. But until then, with this being said, I love you all. This was your boy Roos, and I'm out. Goodbye.